2, 1.
Hi, I'm going to try to show you how to use your jack properly. Hi, I'm Phil Bridges, owner of Straight Arrow Repair. Ever want to know how a repairman fixes things? Well, come with me and I'll show you how I solve problems. Let's make things better together. As a rule, I don't use much smaller than 20-ton jacks when we go under houses. They're very heavy. Uh, they're also awkward and there's a lot of hard work to them, but they lift 20 tons. Because of that kind of weight, if you put this jack directly on the ground, that jack will sink into the ground. You'll have a hard time getting to your handle, into your tightening up and loosening. So you're going to want to put in a larger piece of wood, which means you got to dig more to level that out. And that is your key thing I want you to take from what I'm talking to you. Keep your jack level. If it starts getting out of level, tilting, you need to stop, reset, and get it level. Now here's why. Say this is a mobile home or a house, particularly a mobile home, a single wide, is if you have one, even if you have 3 jacks, but you have just one person, you're working by yourself even. If you have one that pushes sideways like so, the whole house will spin and you'll end up falling. The piers will go through the floor. I've never had to do it. I've had to fix things where they did do it. I've never been associated with doing that. So keep your jacks straight, that way they'll go up. Wedge up everything as you go up. Okay. On these 20-ton jacks, they give you a 2-piece jack handle. That this part I don't have. A lot of people will go ahead and wire weld it. They bend. They're not as strong, not as heavy. This is from a job that, as you notice, it was all getting rusty, galvanized pipe. It's 1/2-inch pipe. On one end, I smashed down. And that I use for a handle. 1/2-inch fits just so. You don't want to be much longer than 12 inches. You can go up to 16, but you end up getting into the bottom of things when you're getting in tight. So when you're going up, again, you will know when it's starting to get weight here. The reason is the handle will get harder to push down. So when you feel it starting to get pushed down, start looking around for what you need to keep wedged up or shimmed up. Then also, you don't want to, when you lay this thing in the trailer, you don't want to lay it on the side because it has a tendency to run the fluid out. Then you have to fill it. So you also want to push this piston all the way down when you put it up, because you don't want that piston to get rust on around it from being exposed to the air, and then that rust end up tearing up the seal that holds the oil in. So it's a good habit to push it all the way down, run your screw down so you don't get rust on that. Now if you notice, this thing's a little hard to get open. Sometimes you have to take and smack it and then twist it open. So then you can twist these up so you don't lose a whole lot, these screws here, so you don't lose a whole lot trying to pump the cylinder. You have about 7 inches, I would guess, in this particular jack. I have shorties also that are around that tall, less length in the piston also. So when you jack on a mobile home frame, you want to jack in the center. It's a T-shape. The bottom web, and then the frame goes up to another web. You want to jack right in the center, not on the edge, because that edge will fold. So you'll see us do that. You can use a torpedo level to make sure you're close to level. but eyeballing it's pretty close. It's a good idea. The taller you go, the more important it is to be dead on level. You do not want to set this jack on concrete unless it's the concrete runner, poured concrete runners in the ground. If you set it on a concrete block, it will break the block. So, a hard fast rule on top or bottom of this jack is to not put concrete, because steel will break the concrete. So you put wood to sit on. Wood is generally, the steel goes to steel. So if you run out of wood to stack up, what you can do is put wood, 1.5 wood, block, 1.5 wood, block, 1.5 wood, block. But again, and then you put wood on top of that block and you set this on it. Again, if you put block to block on a stack like that, it will break. So you want to protect that block from when it's taking jacking weight, which is 20,000 pounds or 20 ton. So it'll be 40,000 pounds. Your up and down is right here. See how that smashed in area works? And your up and down is here. Moves real slow. That's because it's lifting a lot of weight. You can use 12 tons. They're lighter and they're faster. They also wear out quicker. A little bit on the spindly side, but you want to make sure that you have a wide area that you're displacing that 20-ton jack to push the weight so it doesn't sink in the ground as much, because it generally will sink in the ground. If the jack gets stuck and you can't get it out, don't have enough strength, you can stick your handle inside the handle that's built in and twist it around. And also, when you get it out, the frame is say right here, you can take this handle and the piston will be up here and push that piston down. So in case you can't get your weight up on top of it and stand on it or whatever, you can take that handle and push it down. Okay. So a good strong handle is really important. What else? If you want to, if you got an old jack and it's lost a lot of fluid that only goes up part of the way, the fluid goes in that rubber place right there. Lay it on its side, pull that rubber out, put jacking fluid in, or hydraulic fluid, and then put that rubber back when it's full, and then it'll back to pumping. Generally where a jack wears out is right here. It leaks a lot right here. A long time ago, Harbor Freight used to have a weakness right down here at the bottom, but they don't seem to have that anymore, where they screwed this in instead of welding it. This doesn't look welded either, but it's not breaking. Generally, also, the reason those things would jack is because this jack was sitting funny and it would pop. But you can rebuild these. I don't know where you get the kits or anything. I just go ahead and buy them at Harbor Freight. I have a Norco jack's been with me for 20 something years. It's starting to leak pretty bad, and I'll have to figure out how to get gaskets to rebuild it. But that's a quality jack. These are not high quality at all. But I want you to know, keep your jack level. Keep your jack in the center of the beam. If you're jacking on wood with this jack, you would put a plate of steel so this little head doesn't smash into the wood and crush the wood. So you would get a plate of steel. You can buy that at any steel place. The same idea as putting wood under here. You're displacing the weight instead of putting it all right here. You're pushing it over a large area. Sometimes it'll bend that plate, depending on how thick it is. So if you're jacking on wood, you would put a steel plate up here, so you don't go and push it small into the wood. Again, when you put them up, push them all the way down, run the screw down. That way you don't get rust on any of this area and then mess up the seals or get rust. We can't twist this back and forth very well. Leave them standing upright so it doesn't run the oil out. And be careful, because that house can come down on you. It's possible. I've not had it happen, but I've got stories. So, wish you well, and I hope some of this helps you. But I've been doing this for releveling houses for getting close to 30 years. So, and this is all mountainous for the most part. And we're getting ready to do a double wide. We'll take you along with us on that, with lights and everything. And I hope you learned something from it. See you next time. It's Phil Bridges. If you like what you saw, you think it might be helpful to somebody else, push that like button and let other people know what you and I now know. And we'll work together toward making a brighter future. And by the way, we're not Americans, we're Americans. See you next time.